Last time we looked at Francis Bacon and his scientific method. With the Bible being printed by Gutenberg, many very interested people were able to read. Many wanted to know more about the Creator they found in its pages. They read of an unchangeable, reasonable, law-giving God who was not part of his creation and whose attributes and power can be seen in the things he created. With this worldview, it made sense to be prepared to spend years, if necessary, studying the creation in great detail to try to discover the laws the Creator had established. It was reasonable to expect that such laws would exist and would be permanent and unchanging. Tycho Brahe spent years building an observatory where he spent much of his career taking observations of sun, moon, planets and stars. Observations which were 10 times more accurate than anyone before him. He was confident that he could trust the observations because he found that his observations agreed with the Bible. Brahe used his observations to draw up a model of the heavens, which has never been refuted. Brahe died before he could thoroughly analyze all his observations, but his assistant, Johannes Kepler, was prepared to spend years of laborious calculation, with only pen and paper to help him, to discover the elliptical paths of the planets. He was confident that there would be an ordered structure that could be found if he put in sufficient determination. Kepler made the famous statement that the privilege of a scientist is to think God's thoughts after him. Perhaps the greatest scientist of all time was Isaac Newton. He set new standards for accuracy for experimentation. Perhaps this is one of the reasons he was able to achieve so much scientific innovation. French scientists were unable to reproduce his results for experiments in optics. He invited them to his laboratory, and they were astounded to find he constructed his apparatus to an accuracy of 1/100th of an inch. When they made apparatus to this accuracy, they could reproduce his results. Newton made the famous declaration that the system of sun, moon, and planets could only result from the power and wisdom of a supremely wise and powerful Creator. Newton spent more time researching the Bible than researching science. A biographer said of him, were it not for Newton's God, he would never have gone looking for his laws. Gottfried Leibniz, an intellectual giant of his age, said, "It is especially in sciences that we see the wonders of God, his power, wisdom, and goodness. That is why, since my youth, I have given myself to the sciences that I loved." Leonhard Euler developed Newton's mechanics to new heights. He developed partial differential equations. He developed fluid mechanics, which includes aerodynamics and hydrodynamics. For 50 years, more than half of all research papers published on mathematics, theoretical physics, and engineering mechanics were written by Euler. Euler attended Bible study every day of his life. When he was in the cradle, his father took the Bible studies. When he grew up, he took the Bible studies. When his children grew up, they brought their families to his Bible studies. And when he was old, he went blind. But he still led the Bible studies because he knew the Bible off by heart. Euler wrote, "In our investigations into the phenomena of the physical world, we are subject to weaknesses and inconsistencies so humiliating that a revelation was absolutely necessary to us, and we ought to avail ourselves of it with the most powerful veneration." Well, that was very good advice, but a lot of people disregarded it. Many non-believers saw that the scientific method really works and leads to wonderful discoveries. So although a secular worldview would not expect nature to be subject to fixed and unchanging laws, So many non-believers got involved that eventually they effectively took over the discipline and trampled Euler's good advice underfoot. But to look at that, we'll have to wait till next time. Thank you for joining me for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and press the bell so that you'll be notified as I release new movies. If you'd like to support this project, you're welcome to do so through Patreon. Find a link on my channel banner and in the description below.